Give it to us. I want to remove it.
All right, so started. It's a newspaper review, and the conversation has started already with Barrister Darlington lending his view to a few issues on the table. Well, I am Moses Humphrey.
And I am Chukwuma. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, of course. Barrister Darlington is in the building. He stays back from the VOP this morning show, and Gilly Fanimo joins the conversation as well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
How are you?
Now let's dive into it. We do have a few dailies. We'll be checking out the website of some of these papers and taking headlines. Well, now, let's start off with the president's addressing the audience of that commissioning of tractors, where he mentioned Zingman, Alexander Zingman, as his schoolmate. Well, his classmate. No, schoolmate. Was it schoolmate, classmate, or
Schoolmate.
Schoolmate.
Schoolmate,
Yes. So as his schoolmate. Let's take that video again, and then we'll get into that conversation. That's how we start the show. Oh well, that will be brought up much later. But of course, in the morning we reacted to that story. Chukuma and I reacted to that story, and we want you to also take a listen to the statements made by the president, and how comfortable do you feel? How comfortable are you that the president is doing business with his friends? They all seem to be his friends. Shagori is his friend. Now Zingman is his friend. And this, we're talking national, doing business on behalf of Nigeria. Oh well, let's watch that one now.
Alex, to all of you, Alex was my very good neighbor and went to the same school with me in Chicago. Never did we dreamt that I would be in this position as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Alex will be a successful businessman from Belarus to bring about a very successful collaboration and bilateral relationship that will promote economic prosperity and future of our two countries. Alex, thank you very much for everything.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. That's recognition there. Well, let's dig a little deeper into the person of Alex Zingman from Belarus. Let's see now. He was okay. I have a bit of information here. Now he served. He has served since early 2019 as Zimbabwe's honorary consul in Belarus. He is a Belarusian businessman and diplomat known for his close ties to both the Belarusian and Zimbabwean governments. Now he co-owned, or at least was publicly linked to, a $60 million gold mining venture in Zimbabwe alongside Sergei Sheyman, son of Belarusian official Victor Sheyman. Alex has also been involved in major deals supplying fire engines, tractors, buses, and agricultural machinery to Zimbabwe's government through his company, Aftrade DMCC, and often under controversial circumstances. All right. Now, he was detained in the Democratic Republic of Congo for about 12 days. Yeah, Congo. For about 12 days in March 2020 over alleged arms dealing, which he denied subsequently, and then he was subsequently released without charge. All right. Additionally, a Belarusian online profile notes that Alex Zingman resides in Minsk and likely graduated from the Belarus State Economic University. Well, talking about his connections to the USA, he did attend University of Illinois, Chicago. All right. He was born in 1966. He was born in 1966. He attended University of Illinois, Chicago, between 1991 and 1995, where he got a master's degree in business something. Oh well, this is what we know about this individual, Alex Zingman. Gentlemen.
So, where did the CSU come into this thing? Eh? Mr. Moses?
Barrister.
Did they mention that? You see, one of the reasons why I don't understand this president and the way he does something, at least when you want to play these tricks, play it perfectly so that even your worst enemy will not see something to talk about. You know, when he's doing all this, he will not watch his back. How could he have told us that this guy was his schoolmate? Meanwhile, nothing connecting this man with Chicago State University, CSU, where Tinubu claimed he went to. How do you not believe this president? Is it not one like too many? We are saying that Tinubu should slow down in all this life, but he will not listen. Every day he keeps bringing infamy, bringing opprobrium, bringing whatever to himself. He didn't know that somebody somewhere, he didn't know that the world had gone digital. If you mention your name here now, the whole world will see it in the next 5 minutes when they punch their laptop and their smartphone. True or false? So when he was saying that thing yesterday, I'm sure people went to town to go and look at this man and his profile and look at what we are getting this morning. So where is CSU in this matter? None. You can see. Can that man change the schools he went to on his own? People know him. So there's no connection between Tinubu school and this man. And that means Tinubu lied once again. He lied. As usual, he lied. That's why the man could not talk. I expected that man to come out and say, yes, at least give the history of between him and Tinubu so that we will know that, yes, they were parties and all that. Apparently, that man was told to come and agree with what he said. That's why the man stood up and never said anything. He would have said something to validate what Tinubu is saying. At least say one or two things and how they were, moving about as friends in Chicago and all that, how they were neighbors. The man never uttered a word. And you want me to believe this thing that Tinubu said? Anyway, welcome to your supporters. They can now see their friend, a president of a country, lying on several locations concerning himself. Concerning himself. Right. Okay, if you want to prove that, yes, why can't you tell us how your certificate is bearing the name and signature of the vice chancellor of that university, who came to that CSU 17 years after you have left?
All right. Okay. Barrister.
Can Tinubu explain that to anybody?
We'll have to ask him. We'll probably have to ask him personally. What's your reaction to that before we move on to other stories now?
Well, my reaction to it is that at some point you tell lies to cover up lies, and at some point you would have exhausted that route. For me, I don't see any reason why this thing should generate so much controversy. It's better for the man to come out clean of all this back and forth. I don't feel it is necessary. If you have, for instance, as I'm seated here, I know my primary school mates. I still see them. I know my secondary school. As a matter of fact, we have group where we chat, even last time, I think it was 2023 that I went, no, 2024, and I went for a reunion. And we were dressed in our school uniform 40 years after I left secondary school, you know, with my mates, conduct assembly with the current students and all that. So even my NIJ years, my polytechnic years, my university years and all that, I still have my mates. So I have different groups in the chat. So I can always, if somebody says, I didn't attend Aquinas College, Akure, I'll say, okay, go to 1980, 76, 81 set, find out if the records are not there. I don't need to follow him. I don't need to employ a lawyer.
Okay. Talking about his early career, his life and education, like I said, he was born in 1966, spent his youth partly in the United States. His family emigrated there in the 1980s and later returned to Belarus for technical studies, earning an engineering degree 1985 to 1989 in Minsk and a master's in business marketing from the University of Illinois at Chicago in 1991, between 1991 and 1995. This wasn't the time the president attended.
I wonder.
Chicago State University.
I wonder.
I've summed it up and then there's no much emphasis to
Mr.
let's go back.
Yes, I think. Okay, Barrister.
Please, Moses, let us not go too far in this because it's very annoying.
Okay,
I'm not
it's
joking.
very annoying.
It's very
I
annoying.
think I had my take on this in the morning.
Very annoying.
So viewers who are interested in knowing my take should go back and watch the VOPTM. That's this morning for today, June the 24th of
No, wow.
June
24.
June 24, 2025. But in all of these, what bothers me more is the fact that we are discussing agribusiness here. And I think without sounding, let me even concede, let us concede that, look, essentially, Alex Mings, Zingman is a Belarusian, and that we are getting the supply of equipment, tractors, from Belarus. Now, Belarus is a country of 9.1 million people that got independence
from
Russia.
That's from US.
Belarus is a country of 9.1 million people that got independence in 1991. And that's about 34 years ago. Now, we have a country of 230-something million people that got independence in 1960, that's 65 years ago. And we are going to Belarus, you know, to import equipment. What does that tell you about who we are as a people? Are we a people that are ready to make progress? You know, I don't want to dwell. I already dwelt on the controversy of the president certificate and all of that. And like I did say in the morning, if Nigerians walk into their apartment and there is light, you know, they pay a little for it. If they can buy fuel at 150 naira, if the roads are paved, if you can go to clinic and get treated, you know, Medicaid, Medicaid, and all of that. I'm not sure that Nigerians will be very much bothered about whether the president got a degree in CSU or in Illinois and all of that. So it still goes back to that clarion call on leadership to do what is right.
Apart from that, Mr. Okoro, this revelation shows that Tinubu has been compromising our due process in contract procurement and all that. As long as you have declared that this man is your friend, whatever you are doing with him is null and void. According to our due process principles, Barton left or resigned his office or was sacked because of this particular thing. In this case, his company was alleged to have bid for this power project. And for that reason, Jonathan said he should go. But in this case, you are doing our business, national business, with your friends. That's the one you are doing with Chagori. We are still trying to unravel.
So this conflict of interest in business, is it going to rot some kind of development?
Why not?
Asking.
Why not? Why
so
not?
it's going to bring about some kind of development.
No, it will not.
Okay, is it right? Is it right to do business with your?
It's not right. That's what it's not right. Yes, it's not. As long as
no, it is not.
It's not right.
Conventionally, it is not right.
Okay,
it's not right.
But you don't want to care about that. You want to care about that. Is it leading to progress?
No, it is something that we are dealing with now. I mean, when the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway came, you know, Nigeria shouted and shouted and shouted. And just like 3 weeks or like a month ago, the president told us, look, Chagori is my friend and we are doing business together. Now, he is also telling us that Alex Zingman is his old neighbor and friend and schoolmate, and they are doing business together. Why I ask this question is that if you know the history of Indonesia very well, you know there was a man called Suharto. Suharto was very corrupt in Indonesia.
Of course.
But he wrought a development that remains unsurpassed in Indonesia. If you go to Dominican Republic, you know about Rafael Trujillo. You know, he was a very corrupt leader in Dominican Republic. But nobody, even the sane ones, the correct ones, the modest ones, has done for Dominican Republic what he did for them. So we're just comparing notes. I'm not supporting anybody, but I'm just saying, what if these alliances are able to bring about pure development? Barrister, if we have the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway constructed, working for Nigerians, and it happens to have been done by the president's friend, should we have a problem with that?
There's a problem.
What is
we
the
are
problem?
talking of funds here. If you have emptied our treasury because your friend is doing a contract for of what benefit is that to Nigeria? Or are you telling me that
the contract gets done?
You mean, is it your friend that did all the contracts in Nigeria?
Adisa, Abdulkarim Adisa, you know, when he was Minister of Works, was asked, why are you giving toll gates to your friends? You want this person and that person to manage. He said, because I know them. If they run away, I know where to get them. I can find them.
It's wrong. It's wrong. That is why the due process principle was put in place for the contract.
So you think that the due process, the Procurement Act, cannot be circumvented?
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't at all.
No,
it shouldn't.
No, it's not a matter of shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Is it normally circumvented?
Why not?
Can it be circumvented?
That is why it is put there. Why are you going to circumvent it? For what? You are compromising it because of your friends. No, if all of us begin to do that, then we can give contract to our mother, our children, our sisters, our in-laws. That's the meaning. And you know what that means. That means there will be no checks and balances. Compromising with brother here and there. Because my brother is there, so I can do the contract anyhow. And nobody will query me.
Okay, let's...
Can't you get it?
Yes.
Where is the guarantee that this man is doing this contract very well? This Lagos...
let's touch on other headlines before we run out of time. Still from the Punch newspaper, Tinubu's Electricity Act. 7 states take charge of power regulation. Fears as experts, consumer groups foresee glitches. Oyo, Enugu, others take control. All right. Factional fires. PDP governors meet INEC amid neck tensions. And of course, President Tinubu commissions road linking Idu with Zuba Road today. Okay, this is, yes, that's along the INEX by bridge over railway lines. Okay, that's at 2 p.m. later today. So there might be another statement made at that one. All right. Some other headlines here. We have reactions trail demolition of Owo Church massacre victims cenotaph. Reactions trail demolition of Owo Church massacre victims cenotaph. African leaders, activists hinge political apathy on bad leadership. All right, these headlines are from the Guardian newspaper. EFCC arrest ex-NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. And then the big story, according to the Guardian, is NUC flawed process, false disclosure, rock courses, varsities, accreditations, and then Abuja safe. No cause for alarm. FG assures amid US travel warning. PDP chiefs dismiss ALDA coalition as weak attempt to oust Tinubu. And then insecurity. Tinubu urged to investigate alleged complicity of security chiefs. Casualties from Plateau killings rise to 22. June 12, Yoruba group. And then he accused Lamido Ononuga of distorting history. All right, so let's talk about safety. According to the U.S., the U.S. is saying Abuja is not safe. They are asking the citizens of America, of the US, not to go to military sites and be wary of large gatherings and the rest in Abuja. But the federal government is saying, stop it. Abuja is safe.
Dele was the person that went to Abuja last. So, how safe is Abuja when you went there?
I traveled in the daytime and nighttime. I didn't see any threat to my life to that extent.
Okay.
And
well, this is coming on the heels of the suicide bombing that took place somewhere somewhere in Kano, and also with all of this going on, the US should be putting out this sort of information.
The concentration of embassies now is in Abuja, and so there is every tendency. You recall the bombing in the United Nations office. So the tendency is for these other foreign nationals to be cautious of their movement, because unlike Nigeria, that we don't bother about our citizens, those countries, they bother much about their citizens and they don't want harm to come their way. So it's better for them to be forewarned before anything drastic happens to them. And that is the essence of giving them such warning signals. For me, today, nowhere is safe in Nigeria, if you ask me. Because anywhere that we consider as safe today is a place waiting to experience disaster. Okay. Either man-made or natural disaster. We have been threatened by flooding. Now, insurgents are coming up. At some point, there was no report of bombing until the last 1 or 2 months. So it's likely, and this is one of the ways of knowing that the polity is heated up. Okay. Because this was the same thing they did to Jonathan towards the end of his tenure. They made the country ungovernable for him and they were killing left, right, and center. But the point is, I was watching a video this morning when I woke up of one maybe 22, 25-year-old boy who claims to be Fulani that, and they were even showing in the background his calf, not even a full-grown calf, and saying that the life of that calf is worth more than 150 people's life. You know, and it tells me the audacity and the impunity of these people, and the ability to wrought maximum damage in the country.
So essentially, when you say that nowhere is safe in Nigeria, but when you started out by saying that you were in the
I said I went there, I didn't see any present danger at that time, and that was a threat to your life then. Threat to my life. That does not mean that I am saying it is safe.
Okay.
Now, if you look at what the U.S. government said, something is very worrisome. The government of the United States told their people in Nigeria not to go near military sites. Military sites, they were specific. They didn't tell them not to go near hospital, not to go near school. But they said military site. What does that tell you?
Do you think it has something to do with the Iran issue? The possibility of the bombing?
No, military site here. I don't think even if Iran want to hit back, they will go to a military area. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Okay, they would rather target American assets.
Or populated area and all that. But the military side, because the whole world saw how our military barracks have been ransacked of recent. The safest place you can run to in time of crisis, please, my people, is it not a military base? When there is problem, people will run into that place for safety. Is that not true? But now, a foreign government is telling them, don't go near there. That means if there's crisis, don't try to go into a military area for safety. What does that tell you? That means all hope is lost. That's just the simple meaning. Nigeria
how is that your summation of it?
I mean, look, are you not following the trajectory? The military base, the military barrack is the safest place you can run to in time of crisis, true or false. I mean, when you go in there is the possibility that yes, the mad people rampaging the city and they will not enter there. But now, a foreign government is telling them, don't go close to that, don't even try it. So where else will you go to that you can be sure and comfortable of safety? Where? And that means we don't have security. That's what the American government is telling Nigerian government. Is that not true? If they can ransack your military bag in such a manner, that is why I keep telling the government, stop exposing yourself, stop demarketing this country. When those things happen, you mean nobody took notice outside Nigeria? Can you cover it? Can you cover such a thing? I mean, a whole military barracks, everything carted away. So, is that where you want the civilian to run to? That is the meaning. So, when they are saying, don't demarket Nigeria, what are we saying that is not there in the public domain? What are we saying? It is left for the government to do the needful. For these people to have the audacity to enter into a military barracks and do that kind of damage. I am telling you, all hope is lost. Everybody is now on his own. Don't deceive yourself. The military is not the safest place to run to. That's what I just told you now. You don't know why these things are going unchecked. Look at it yourself. The president told the military chief to go to Benue and take care of things. At least a week or two before he now came. Is that not true? Under the watch of this military chief, the worst damage was done in Benue. Under his watch, under his nose. And when the president came, is there no arrest so far? Have you not made any arrest? And the man was laughing. Moses, the man was laughing. Go and try it with Donald Trump and see whether he will not sack you on the spot.
By the way, 22 people have been arrested in Jos for the murder of those people that were traveling to Zaria, from Zaria to Jos for a wedding. 22 people have been arrested.
Did you see them?
Did you see arrested? But the question is,
yes, I know. Did you see them?
No, the question is, how come those that attacked Benue have not been arrested?
Both the one that attacked Benue and the one that did all this thing now, that Tinubu equally came to apologize. Did you see any of them? We are even afraid.
So you don't believe that people have been arrested?
My brother, from where I stand now, I cannot believe any other thing from these people. I'm not joking. I cannot believe any other thing. Because all the things they told us, none of them can be verified. Were you not here when they told us that they have killed a Shekau? 5 times, 5. They even brought his Bible to Buhari. True or false? Until his fellow travelers eliminated him. That was when we now knew that. So this man has been alive. Please, Mr. Goro, talk another thing. Something is going on. I pray that one day somebody's heart will touch him so much that he will come and reveal what is going on. Because this one is beyond joke.
All right, you have something to contribute?
Well, for me, the government has said 22 people have been arrested. I think what we should be bothered about is, who are these 22 people? Have we profiled them? Have they come up to... Perhaps they will tell you that they are still investigating and they don't want to compromise investigation. That's why they are not telling us their names and their identity. But it's important for us in the days ahead to know exactly who these people are and then the level of their complicity in that crime for us to be able to situate it properly. For me, it is a bad signpost that people get away with murder easily these days in this country. And I would be shocked if in the next few days that particular young boy that was threatening and saying that whatever they did in Benue is child's play, that they are still coming back, is not arrested in the next few days, and let the whole world know who is financier, because that guy cannot act alone. He cannot. He must have probably been
But let's go back in time. Not too far back though. In Edo State, where people were killed, you recall that incident, and government officials did not really do anything. Instead, we saw the vigilante members, those that were alleged to have done the crime, arrested and taken to Abuja. And then on social media, a lot of people came out. A lot of people from northern extraction issued threats that they will retaliate. I don't recall anyone being arrested.
Yeah.
No one was arrested after that statement.
And they retaliated though. They did.
Well, I'm not.
They did. They killed people immediately after that incident. They did. They covered it up. They did.
Yes, in Europe, yes.
Yeah, they did.
Killed.
They did.
People were killed.
And nobody was arrested.
So that's the Nigeria we are.
Now it begins to, it throws up the question. These our governors, are they lackeys of the North? Look at Muftuang has already embarked on a peace mission to Kaduna State. Just like
It's out of fear.
Is it out of fear, or is it that they have something on the governors?
I am telling
that before
you,
you become a governor, you must give this, and if you don't give this in return, we'll take this from you.
I think it's out of fear.
Oh,
fear of what?
Fear
of
maybe not going back
attacks,
to office and all of that.
or reprisal attacks on your people.
Okay.
That's my thought. I think it's out of fear of reprisal attacks. Because certain people are seen as not afraid of death, so they can attack you. So you don't want them to carry out such attacks. So you try to seek peace. But we know that. How has that worked?
I wonder how long are we going to placate them?
For me, if you continue to say you want to preserve your life, that's when you lose it. But if you go all out, like the football, they say attack is the best form of defense.
Oh well, but we're not calling for any attack here.
These people, they have done it several years, and consistently they have been doing it, and there has not been any consequence for their action. And so they are emboldened.
The more.
I think the call is for state actors to arrest those that perpetrate such crime,
understand?
Regardless of where they are from.
The value placed on life by each culture determines how. The worst battle you can do is to engage somebody who is not ready to return home, who wants to die in the battlefield. It's doubly difficult to fight such battles.
Okay, all right. Moses, I think from the angle that you are looking at it, that we must be able to arrest these people and prosecute them. Let me tell you one thing. While the South, while others were sleeping, these particular people that we are talking about, the Fulanis, started work early enough. How did they start the work? Now, by getting their people into strategic places, in the defense, in the military, in the police, in immigration, in customs, in all the top security agencies. To the point that if you arrest a Fulani man, take him to
any
police station, the chances are that if the DPO is a northerner, he might be Fulani. If he's not Fulani, the area commander is most likely to be Fulani. So a call comes in and the person is released.
Yes.
You go to the defense, the same thing. You go to the military, the same thing. You go to the top of the judiciary, the same thing. So while the South, what I call we are more like paying the supreme price of silence. The South was silent for a very long time, and it will take a very long time to change or to recalibrate all that they have put in place. That structure. It will take a lot to dismantle it. And look at when Tinubu tried to dismantle it, there was a pushback. So that is what we see.
And that is why whenever they're out of governance or government,
they start fretting.
In fact, it looks like the world is coming to an end.
Okay.
You see?
All right. Let's.
It just occurred to me now that the North should not be profiled just like a blanket.
No, I said Fulani. I didn't say
That's what
North.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Because these people, they are even subjugating the Hausas the Kanuris, the Chambers, the thieves, to the extent that they cannot even breathe as we speak.
Exactly. That was the point I made. Now, while we, others slept.
Yeah.
Holistically, not and south. They, that particular ethnic group.
Anyway, this thing started in 1804 when the real Hausas accepted them and brought them as their brother because they speak the same, is it not language or religion? Immediately they entered. What happened? They eliminated all the Hausa princes and they established the Emirate Council. Does it not bother you that anywhere they conquer, the first thing they do, they establish Emirate Council there and put an emir there? They did it in Kwara. They did it in Kogi. In Kwara, they have 16 local government. Out of that 16, I think 12 are of Yoruba ethnic group. The 4 that is of Hausa Fulani dominate, and that's where the emir come from. Look at the number. Look at the gap.
The disparity.
Yes, you can't try it. They will always produce an emir in that place. But to go to the topography, that land does not belong to the north. Thank God the land does not move. It was the part of the great Oyo Empire. They took it by force.
All right. Well, before we get into history class now, let's go to Benin, where our correspondent is on the streets of the city, ready to speak to Nigerians, to hear their voice. So let's hear the voices of Nigerians, the voices of the people.
Good morning, Nigerians, and thank you for staying with us on Voice of the People TV. I'm Brother Johnny at a newspaper stand this morning. We want to find out what is really causing this heated discussion among the good citizens of Nigeria. Come with me, let's ask them their reactions.
Elder Thomas Ajekalo. I think I want to say the Commission of Roads going on at Lagos is a welcome development. That shows that the President of the country, Tinubu, made the right choice by choosing Wike to be the FCT minister. And from all indication, Wike is doing very well. Because when you have a lot of commissioning going on means somebody has performed. So I want to say kudos to the President and the FCT minister. My name is Thomas A. Carlo.
Hunger is a real security threat in the country. Cost of food has skyrocketed. Gari, yam, beans, all of that food stuff are now not within the reach of the common man. Our land rice is going down a little. Government should try to bring down the cost of rice and other food items. Then secondly, all these places that are very good in producing food items that are now ravaged by herdsmen or whoever. Government should do everything possible to ensure that security is there so that they can produce food and be saving lives. Another thing is that farming used to be our mainstay, but now women can't go to the farm because they rape them. Even men can't stay long in the farm. I remember when I was young, we stay in the farm up till 6 in the night, in the evening, and we eat there. But now you can't do that again because you are afraid. You are afraid of herdsmen or all those marooders who are carrying about cattle in the farms. So government should ensure that our bushes are secured so that people can farm, because this lack of security, even in the bushes, they are part of what is making food items rising high. Mwokolo Elvis.
My name is Kisley Obagwado. This hunger we are talking about and the security, I can say most of the things is for the governors. The governors are the problem we have in this country. Why I say the governors are the problem in this country? The government, the security force are given to them. What are they using for? Imagine the president will send security force to governors to take after their territory. But as we are speaking, most of the governors, they don't know their left and their right. Why I say they don't know their left and their right? The security force have to give to the vigilante, the police, the army, and the force. to make sure that their state are safe. But we don't know what they are using the security vote to do. So please, I'm just trying to tell the governors to wake up. All the governors, not the president. We don't have any president. We don't have president. Let the whole governor join together and rise up and let their state be secured.
As I've heard, the heated discussion among the citizens here is basically on hunger, insecurity. They are urging the government to try to secure the system, to try to ensure that everything is put into place. And that is it this morning in Benin City. I'm Brother Johnny, reporting for Voice of the People TV. I hand over to my colleagues in the studio.
And thank you very much for that report there. Nigerians venting, of course. Oh, well, let's get back to the papers here. Let's look at a few other headlines before we wrap up newspaper review. EFCC arrests ex-NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. Over 20 billion naira recovered from corrupt Nigerians in 2024, says ICPC. Maybe I should read a little into this story.
Let's take a peek.
The ICPC thing.
No, the entire story.
Yeah, okay.
Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested a former chief financial officer of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, Umar Issa, in connection with an alleged $7.2 billion fraud linked to the rehabilitation of the Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt refineries. Some officials of the NNPCL were being investigated for the alleged mismanagement of funds earmarked for the overhaul of these facilities. The total amount under investigation is about 2 billion. Okay. And then, I mean, there's a lot of the figures here can be confusing, so I'm just going to skip them. Well, a top official in the agency who requested anonymity due to a lack of authorization to speak publicly confirmed Issa's arrest and said he was being investigated for alleged abuse of office, corruption, among other offenses. Now, the person is quoted as saying, as CFO, he oversaw the release of funds from the turnaround maintenance of the 3 refineries. All key officials involved in the maintenance and other major NNPCL projects are also under investigation for alleged abuse of office, corruption, diversion of public funds, and kickbacks from contractors. Other officials involved are Tunde Bakari, MD, Warri Refinery, Ahmed Adamu Diko, former MD, Port Harcourt Refinery, and Ibrahim Monday Onoja, former MD, Port Harcourt Refinery. This is according to the source. And, well, basically, this is the information we have. And then the ICPC said they have recovered 20 billion from corrupt Nigerians. I don't know if some politicians are part of those ones.
I tend to believe ICPC.
More than
ICP is really working silently. They have gotten more convictions of civil servants than EFCC. On a scale of 10, if I want to rate EFCC and ICPC, I'll give ICPC 7 and I'll give AFCC like 3. Because they do more with media war and there are no follow-ups. If EFCC gets you, I mean ICPC, and you are arraigned in court, they will pursue it to the last point. And most cases, they get convictions. If you go to the prisons now, those that have public office, who had public offices in the past and are now languishing in jail, they were convicted on the basis of charges by ICPC. They don't allow them. I know of a particular case of a professor in UI, one of the institutes, who gave 40 million to appropriation committee some years ago, but it was not captured, and the man took naira to them. When he was being prosecuted, they called those people that were appropriation committee members and their chairman. All of them denied, and he had no proof. He was sentenced to 9 years imprisonment. He's still in Agodi prison there. So, if ICPC is talking, I prefer them to EFCC.
Okay.
That's one. Then 2, on the issue of fraud, we can't even get We are just scratching the surface. All these $7.2 billion and all that. We are just scratching the surface. What is embedded in NNPC is too mind-boggling. It's a cesspool of corruption, and we may not get to the root of it until somebody comes tomorrow and is ready to kiss the bullet on behalf of Nigerians. That's when NNPC will be purged.
Which man will have $7.2 billion in his kitty and allow you to?
It's not one person now. It's a collection of all of them.
I just asked.
And I have
which man will have $7.2 billion in his kitty and he will allow you to take him down?
Yeah, they will.
He would resist you, but you can take him out.
No, especially exactly. Do we have a refined system to do that?
You're just saying this because I know. You see, I've related closely with government in the past, and I know how enormous the power of somebody in government is. If he has the political will,
exactly.
So
the point.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I mentioned that that person who will be ready to kiss the bullet on behalf of Nigerians is the only person that can pick his what is this thing called? Is it binoculars or
binoculars?
To look deep into NNPC.
That is the person.
Anybody that does not have that political will, or he has bags following him to the office, is not likely to pick.
That's the kind of person we are looking for. But the professor you mentioned in UI, I mean, it has to do with about 40 million naira. 40 million naira. That is money they put in the back pocket. Now go to Nikon.
But they even give it to their driver to follow them.
And all. We're looking at $7.2 billion. How does it sound?
But let me tell you something. the level of your corruption
sound is good.
The level of your corruption is proportionate to your level of exposure.
Good. And it's also,
that man
it's also proportional to the level of your being easily caught in the net.
So if that same professor had the opportunity of becoming the MD or chief finance officer, it would do worse.
I mean, we have a Desiani who is going to court and said, no, look, you can't do that. I can't take my property and all of that. You know where I got that money from? Infantry.
All of them want. Emefiele is coming up to say he wants to take his 753 houses back.
His money.
My job is his money.
You never know.
So that's Nigeria for you.
But, well, mostly so when you were reading I had one Tunde Bakare as part of the people.
Yes, but it's not the one you know.
I was wondering, because last time he visited Tinubu, whether he went to plead for. I don't want. No, I'm just wondering.
So you suddenly started working in NNPC.
Are you sure?
I think another trending story NNPC is that Shole has resigned.
Oh yes, that was yesterday.
No, he resigned last week.
I think over the weekend.
No, whether he resigned or not, when this probe will become deeper, they will call him. It's not enough. They will call him because 210 trillion is not a peanut.
Over how many years?
No matter how many years, those are alive. Those alive will come and answer.
Caught in the web of all this probe.
Why?
Oh, that's why he resigned.
He resigned. Even if he didn't resign, he would have been asked to leave. He came with a principal, and that principal is no longer there. And the new principal will want his man there.
Okay.
It is a normal process.
Okay.
If I become GMD of NNPC today, I will decide to choose Chukuma as my spokesperson.
As the deputy GMD, not spokesperson. I'm tired of speaking.
You see, it pains you to be spokesperson. You will not be
tired of speaking. I'm tired of speaking. I want to be where the action is.
We're out of time. But I must say a very big thank you to you, gentlemen. Let me just put out this story there. Senate grills customs over rising costs. Modest revenue in 2025 budget. Bamidele highlights progress at midterm set reform agenda. NPA projects 1.28 trillion naira revenue for 2025. Remits 400 billion naira in 2024. Just want you to ponder on those ones until we come your way again next time. God bless you. Oh, well, I must say a very big thank you to Barrister Darlington Agumo. Thank you very much for joining the newspaper review. Big thanks to Dele Animo for joining as well. Thanks for your thoughts, your contribution on the program. I am Moses Humphrey. Chukuma has an information for us.
And I am Chukuma Okoro. 6 o'clock today, we'll go to Abuja, where the national chairman of the PDP and the national publicity secretary are at daggers draw. No, you can't say that. No, I should say that. And the person that will speak to us is a member of the National Executive Committee of the PDP and also the state chairman of Abia PDP, Elder Amma Abraham. Join us then at 6 o'clock. It promises to be very interesting.
All right, that's Political Lens at 6 p.m. Bye for now. See you later.